Okay, welcome everybody. Um, Welcome to my Thursday 30 webinar. Last week I talked about LinkedIn and I decided that I thought it would be a good idea to carry that on this week because there is a lot of information about LinkedIn, and as far as using LinkedIn for um, using LinkedIn to generate leads. That's really what we're all about, right? We're looking for opportunities where we can utilize LinkedIn as a tool to generate more traffic. So let me jump in, share my screen, and let me make sure we're recording, and I'll share screen. And you should be able to see my screen now. So let's talk about LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the world's largest networking event. A lot of us would do networking, would hit all the networking events and actively involved in networking. What we were trying to do with those events is we were trying to build connections. That's what it was all about. It's just a matter of how we can generate more connections. Well, with LinkedIn, we have the probably the largest B2B network of businesses available out there, because we're finding that, um, as I mentioned last week, for those of you that joined me for last week's webinar, we talked about the 600 million people are active, and how folks are revitalizing the use of LinkedIn from past years where it was so badly misused. So let's talk about how we can utilize LinkedIn for prospecting and for generating sales. So we start with the prospecting side of thing, and it is, as I mentioned, it is a gold mine of B2B prospects. This is where your audience is hanging out. If you are looking to reach business owners, if you're looking to reach executives, if you're looking to reach professionals, LinkedIn is the tool that's going to be out there for you. And you can find anyone that you're looking for, the niche market that you're trying to target is going to be on LinkedIn if you're looking for the higher income or the B2B prospect. Every piece of data in your profile is indexed, it's sorted, and it's searchable. So we talked last week about your profile and how important it was to complete that. This is just another reinforcement to the fact that you really need to have that. You really need to have everything in your profile complete. Google is picking up that data. So now Google can index that content. And if you're talking about web design services, if you're talking about printing services, if you're talking about marketing services or investment services, all of those things can carry forth into a Google search. So you want to make sure that you have a completed profile, especially your endorsements and skills, and because the top three of those endorsements or skills that you put in there are highly searchable, and especially both within Google and within LinkedIn. But LinkedIn allows you to search for people. It allows you to search for jobs, for companies, even for content. So the content that people post. So let's say I post an article about marketing, digital marketing ideas, or common mistakes people make with digital marketing. If someone is looking for digital marketing or web design or SEO, there's a potential that they can find my content. And so using that type of making sure you have good content and using the right search terms can also be found and searched. Let's say you're looking for somebody that does, let's say that you're looking for an accountant. We'll just throw something out there. And you want to find somebody that knows something about taxes or about the PPE loans, or the PPP loan, I guess I should say. maybe you want to know about the personal protective equipment too, but let's say you're looking for somebody that can give you some guidance about the PPP loans. And what does that mean? Well, you're probably going to be able to find a CPA or an accountant that's writing about that in public and putting that in LinkedIn. So you'll be able to find content based on jobs and based on who several different criteria. There are some limits to free accounts. So some of the things that you can see, you'll see listed when you go to your profile or you go to your search, you'll see certain things that are grayed out. There are limitations to what a free account can do, but I still use the free account. You might have to jump through a couple of extra hoops to find something. The biggest thing that I think that you're missing from a free account versus a paid account is the ability to see who searched your profile. That would be a huge thing if you have that ability. But it is in a paid version, but the paid versions are $50 a month, pretty much, and up. So I think the cheapest is $50 a month. So, like I said, I use the free version and can make do. You just have to get a little creative with the searches that you do. This is what a search screen looks like. So, I did, LinkedIn uses what's called the Boolean search string. And by that, it means it lets you put in there the dividers, the separations, the and or, the quotation marks. So if you look at this particular one, I typed in Tucson, the word and, so that means I want to find people that are in Tucson and that have owner in their title or description. And in this particular case, it's in their headline. So here's owner at Tucson. So, it searched for owner and Tucson. So you can see here, that's how the search works. It finds what you're looking for by putting the search term in quotes and then using the either and or not. You can use those. Those are the basic ones that you can use. Now you can see where you can search for people and jobs and content. You can search within your connections, and you're able to search down through 2 levels of connections. Actually, I think you're able to search down to the 3rd, but not beyond. So what the connections are, just in case you're not sure, the connections are, a first level connection is somebody that you've sent a connection request and they have accepted it. So that's a first level connection. A second level connection is they are friends, are connected with somebody that you're first level connections. And then 3rd level means they're down removed. So a connection of a connection type thing. So this is how you start that search. So it's really easy to work with. So let's say that we use the quotation marks, we use the and, we use the or. We put the business title in the quotes. So what title you're looking for, you put that in quotes, and then that sets up these specific search features. You have the option of all of these types of things: the current company, past companies, the industry, the school that they might attended, their language. You can search by services, by name, some common interest, although we used to have a lot more interest in there. They've taken a lot of that out, but now we can still find, we can still use some interest. But if you look at it from a standpoint of industry and school are going to be 2 powerful searches that you can use. We'll talk about that in a moment. If you want to connect with people in a certain company, then you can do that as well. But for most people, it's going to be industry, and it's going to be school, and it's going to be maybe services. But best of all, this is free. So all of these searches are done free. You don't have to have any premium account to do that. So within that search, let's say that you look for a common ground with a prospect to start a conversation. Because what we're trying to do, keep in mind, go back to the analogy I gave you at the beginning of this being the world's largest networking event. So what do we do at a networking event? We find somebody that we can start a conversation with, right? I mean, hey, I'm Gary, here's my card. I do website design, search engine optimization, social media marketing, coaching and training. What do you do? Oh, well, I have a plumbing company. I'm a business coach. But we're looking to find that common ground. So let's say, okay, I'm a avid sports fan, and I'm a big SEC football fan. Oh, really? What team do you follow? What was your school? Well, maybe I'm an Alabama fan. Oh, and I go, oh, Alabama. I'm Arkansas, so we never like Alabama because they beat us so badly all the time in football. I've just created some common ground. I've opened an interest because now it's like, okay, I didn't go to Alabama, but I have a connection because I know the Roll Tide. I know what what the commonality is. And so we can talk about, I really like, you got one of our past coaches or, now working for you. And I really, hope he does a good job, and find out that common ground. Use that to start the conversation. Use common connections to help you open the door. So, I saw that, I saw on your profile that you're a friend of Bill's. What do you think about, I like the stuff that he does, and I think he does a really great job with, his company or whatever it might be. And so we look for that common connection, the common first connections that we have to sort of, again, open that door. So that's really where you start with the prospecting side of things. But now the next step, and where you really want to go is once you've got that prospect identified, now you want to engage with the folks on LinkedIn. And so you start that engagement process by personalizing the engagement message. LinkedIn gives you just a standard default. Hey, I'd like to connect with you, and let's meet up or whatever. Let's connect. But those can fall by the wayside. People go, oh yeah, another one of those. I got another 50 of those sitting here in my inbox that I need to look at, and I'll get around to those one day. But if your engagement is personalized, hey, I see that you're in in this particular industry, and I have some. I've worked with a lot of folks in that industry, and I have some really cool stuff that I could share with you if you're interested. And I'll talk about a specific formula for that invite, but treat it like a one-on-one meeting. So what you're trying to do, again, is just gain the common ground and make everything personalized. You want to build the trust and rapport before you sell. It's always the analogy is you don't ask to get it. You don't get engaged on the first date. You got to build up that trust. You've got to ask for the opportunity to sell. And and we're all like, if we walk on a car lot, we're going to go buy a car. We're already armed with those three little words, right? I'm just looking, because nobody wants to be sold. And I use a specific example. Several years ago, I met someone at a networking event. They're in the insurance business, and he said, I'd like to see how we could work together. Maybe we could help each other out. So I said, fine, let's meet. And he actually came to my office, and so he sits down and he starts talking about what he does. And I ask him, questions about him. And then he says, okay, well, tell me a little bit about you. And I should have known I was in trouble. I did know I was in trouble when he pulled out his little folder so he could start making notes. So what he's doing is building a sales profile for me. And so at the end, he goes, hey, I'd really like we talked for a few minutes, and, let me give you a quote on your home and auto insurance. And I went, no, you haven't earned that right. You have not earned my trust and my rapport. Why would I have met you for 5 minutes? We've talked. You've told me what you do. You listened to what I do. And now you want me to help you. We want to help each other by me buying insurance from you. No. And I got a little blunt with the guy, and young kid. So, I mean, I hated to do that, but he needed to understand that asking for the sale is not something that you're owed. It is not a right. It is something you earn. And then LinkedIn's the same way. We're no different. No different. So you ask based on the amount of trust you've earned so far. And so you share with them, hey, okay, so based on the information I've given you, let me give you a little more information. Would you like some more information on? And I open the door to share something else. But we have to ask based on the amount of trust. And if we've not built up enough trust, we're not going to get a sale anyway. You want to break the ice first. So you send a personalized invitation and message. That's our goal. Create that personalized invitation and message so that we break the ice and then can go to the next step. So in that invitation, the first thing we're going to do is explore our prospects. Who are the people we want to connect with? Maybe they're already friends on LinkedIn and you've just not developed any relationship with them. So start there. If you've got connections on LinkedIn, start with those connections. Who are good candidates for you to work with? Who would make a good strategic partner? Who would make someone someone that you could offer your primary services with? Who is somebody that you could send referral business to? All of those things are what you really want to do, is to find who the prospect is. And once you find those, you look for clues. Look for the college that they went to. Look for fraternities that they were in. Look for their interests. Find, again, we're going back to the common ground thing, but find that prospect and then use that prospect. So let's say we find a prospect and they say they were, in their profile, it says they were a graduate of Eller School of Business at the U of A. So, okay, so we may start with, one of the way to start was, hey, I see that you're a U of A alum, bear down. Okay, now we've kind of opened the door and cracked the ice. Or if it's a fraternity that you're familiar with or part of, those are great too. I see that you're interested in, I see that you shared information about being interested in a particular volunteer charity that you find passionate. How do you like that? I mean, is that something that is that a cause that you're really passionate about? And how did you get involved working with this particular charity, the Tino Dito, or whatever it might be? Again, just opening the door. So icebreaker ideas are location, education, hobbies, volunteering, industry, and past or current employers. Maybe you go, oh, I knew somebody that used to work for the same folks. Were they there when you were there? Look for opportunities. That's all we're doing. Personalize your invitation with the icebreaker idea. So there again, volunteering, you take the volunteerism and say, I really like the fact that you're involved in this particular charity. I think that they do some great work. Next, you want to create context for a conversation. So you want to find something to talk about that's not a sales pitch. So now we're looking for how can we interject what we do into their life. So, I see that you're active in, I see that you're an accountant, and, I do work with several accountants. In fact, I have a checklist that I have for businesses, and you might find this helpful while you're working with businesses. You might find my guide to having a successful website as interesting. Would you like me to send that to you? What are they going to say? They're probably going to say yes if you've earned enough trust. So you earn the right to ask for the sale. So we're going to send them information of value. We're going to give them stuff that helps them. The more value you can offer, the more you can provide, the better you're going to be and the more successful you're going to be, because at that point now you're beginning to ask for the right to sell them. So you send them that information that you promised, and then you do a follow-up. And so you come in behind that going, hope you found that information helpful. Was that good? Did you see some value in that? Would you like to find out more about, what I offer? And that's when you can then move into the sales phase. So once you've created that interest, the money is in the mailbox. It's in the one-on-one messages. It's not in the posts that you make. It's not in the blog articles that you write, the content that you share. Those are all great. They're all good, and they build brand recognition. But the real success is in the one-on-one message. It's getting into their inbox. Start with a question like, have you ever used video marketing for your business? If I offer video marketing, so have you ever offered use video marketing for your services? And if they say, yeah, I have, how did that work for you? What did you find that was successful, and what were some of the challenges that you found with that? So the questions open up to kind of moving the conversation along. So if they say, but I thought about using video marketing, would you like my free guide on how to set up an effective video marketing campaign? It's free. I'd be glad to send it to you, let you take a look. Sure, why not? Make a simple ask, and if they say yeah, then I'll send it over. So if they say answer you're asking for something simple. If they say yes, you send it over, and then you've got a follow-up connection that you can make, because now you can go back behind and go, did that make sense to you? Was there anything in there that I could further explain, or can we talk about this a little further? Once you've got that, and then you follow with a no pressure. If you say, let's say you follow up and go, was this something that you found? Is there anything I can do to give you some more information on that? If they say no problem, no worries, and stop at that. No pressure. We hate being pressured. It's not, and nobody's going to buy if they're pressured. But if they say yes, now you've got the sale. You're almost assured of the sale. So use that simple formula. Start with a question. Have you ever used my product, my service? This is after we've broken the ice with our common ground. Have you ever used my product, my service? Something like that. Don't be specific, because they haven't they haven't used you before. Otherwise you wouldn't be asking a dumb question like that. So have you ever used email marketing? Have you ever used search engine optimization? Have you ever used an investment service? Let me give you some ideas. Here's my free resource. Would you like that? Great. And then stop with no pressure. If you get a yes, you've got the sale. You want to focus on using your niche. So think about what you can do as that offer. So X number of reasons why your product or service is critical for their business. So 5 reasons why social media marketing is critical for your accounting business, or your marketing business, or your real estate business. So create that something that gives them a clear path of, here's what you do. Here's some things that you can use. This is something, I'm just going to give it to you. I'm not trying to sell anything. I just want to give you an example of what your offer looks like in real life. So here's some examples of how this has worked for other people in the past. This is how I work with clients. This is how I do, this is how I start a social media plan. This is how I guide somebody in creating their website. Here's my checklist for the website. All examples of what an offer looks like in real life. And then don't claim authority, demonstrate it. It always goes to, stands to reason that people are going to, they believe someone else before they believe you because you're just a salesman, right? So you don't want to claim authority. You want to show, hey, here's a case study. And this, I'm going to send with this, my 5 reasons. I'm going to also send you, there's going to be a case study of of working with a particular client like you that that we helped do, grow their business, increase their return on investment, or whatever it might be. So utilizing that authority from other people to demonstrate to you. And then what do you want to know more about? Just ask people. If you're not sure how to create that, or if you're not sure what your offer or what that offer, that niche offer should look like, ask. Use a post in your LinkedIn profile that says, or in your LinkedIn post that said, what do you want to know more about web design? What do you want to know more about getting your website ranked? What do you want to know more about Instagram? Ask questions, and then people will give you the answer. And when they do, now you've also opened the door to, again, the conversation back with them. Oh, you're interested in Instagram. I have a really cool workshop that I did on Instagram. Would you like me to send it to you? What are they going to say? Nah, never mind. I don't want it. The dialogue, creating the one-on-one message. Hopefully that gives you some ideas on how to personalize and utilize LinkedIn for your prospecting and engagement. It's really just opening the one-on-one dialogues. And you have a great opportunity with LinkedIn if you create that flow of information so that you have the offer, so that you're not pushy, but you're giving them something of value, because the value add is really where it's at. Keep those in mind, and hopefully that was helpful to you. If anybody's got any questions, feel free to pop those in the question box. Percentage of people that have paid versus free accounts. I haven't looked at that, Pam. I'll look and see, but I think for the most part, I think a lot of people still use the free accounts, especially smaller businesses, because the paid accounts do get a little pricey. Now, you are able to send more direct in-mail, direct to a prospect if you're using the paid service. But again, like I said, it starts around $50 a month. And so I know for a lot of small businesses, they drag their feet on that. But it is something that it is there, and it does have value. So you may want to look at that and consider that as you move forward into the future. Anyone else have any questions? As always, you can reach me. Here's my contact information. Check out my website, 800biz Ninja Marketing, ninja.marketing, and also the Ninja Marketing Dojo. I post a lot of these webinars on the Ninja Marketing Dojo website. I've got a lot of content there, and I will be reopening that really soon for membership, because at that point, what I'm going to be doing with the dojo is doing private class, more in-depth, a deeper dive on things like LinkedIn, like all the social media accounts. So check that out. The information is at the ninjamarketingdojo.com. If we don't have any other questions, then thank you guys for coming today, and I will see you next week. Don't have the topic yet, but I'm thinking in terms of probably talking about sales funnels, which we hear a lot about, and people go, well, what is it, and do I need one? So that may be my topic for next week. Thanks, guys, and we will see you next time.